It's not only on the field where AFL players make a name for themselves. With the value in having a social media presence clear for modern day marketing, it has allowed a certain portion of the competition's players, not necessarily the best, to cash in away from the football field, making loads of money from brand and sponsorship deals. But how do you become one of these new age social media AFL superstars? Is it purely luck, your appearance and personality, or the way you play the game? Being a part of a club and winning with teammates is great, but with most AFL careers on average only a few years in length, taking advantage of these opportunities while they last can set you up for life. They can also turn on you equally as fast. A week ago on AFL.com, they listed the 12 most marketable players in the AFL, and it did reveal a lot about what big brands are looking for when they decide to partner with individual players. The top 6 in order are Bailey Smith, Nick Dacos, Harley Reid, Marcus Bonampelli, Christian Petrarca, and Isaac Rankin. The back 6 include Isaac Heaney, Patrick Cripps, Nick Watson, Charlie Curnow, Max Gawn, and Mac Andrew, who rounds out the 12. Now this is of course a subjective list, but it was put together by Cal Toomey, and if anyone knows who is front and center of big brand deals, it is him. But before we delve a bit deeper into what this list means, let's have a look at a new initiative that went under the radar. In the latest CBA sign between the players and AFL, it was revealed a $35 million marketing fund was put aside to reward a group of 50 to 80 AFL and AFLW players. To quote Sam McClure from The Age, the marketing fund, which is yet to come into effect, will be made exclusively available to a select group of high-profile stars and will allow them to earn extra money with the AFL's commercial partners, separate not only to their playing salaries, but even to the additional services agreement. This new marketing fund shows how important high-profile names are to expanding the growth of the game. The AFL is willing to go into their own pockets to reward those who get lots of eyes on them. Even some of the clubs themselves are in the dark about this new program, and that in itself adds another layer of intrigue. The marketing fund, part of the agreement that runs from 2023 to 2027, is so little known that 4 club chief executives and 6 heads of football had no clue it even existed. There are also 3 key pillars to decide which players meet the markers to earn money from the $35 million pool. The first of which is overall market demand. Who do the AFL's commercial partners like or want in their next campaign? Number 2 is on-field performance. And third is, interestingly enough, personal brand, including social media following, networking capabilities, ability to perform well in interviews, and so on. With this in mind, let's get back to that list of 12. The clear trend is, most of them are great AFL players and have been over a long period of time. Bonampelli, Cripps, Petrarca, Gawn, Dacos, Heaney, Curnow and Rankin have been in the top echelon of players for at least the past couple seasons. They are all the marquee player or duos of their own clubs and perform consistently most weeks and can light up the screen with their own highlight plays. Being a serious AFL player is still by far the most important element of being at the front of the league's marketing. But things might be changing. Bailey Smith, Nick Watson, Harley Reid and Mac Andrew have talent, but haven't produced like the others for long periods of time. Perhaps they are a part of the new age marketing players. Watson, Reid and Andrew specifically had plenty of highlights as juniors on social media, and as 17 and 18 year olds already had their own brands and were well known, especially with the younger generation. The same can be said for Bailey Smith, who burst onto the scene in his first few seasons in the AFL. Watson because of his size, Smith his looks and blonde mullet, and Gawn's big beard are some of the small physical attributes that have also helped them be unique and stand out in the AFL. Now of course playing for Collingwood, Richmond, West Coast and any of the big clubs always helps, but this list proves it isn't a critical factor like maybe it once was. Individual brands seem to be able to overcome playing for a club that traditionally has a lower membership base. And the social media aspect is only growing. Bailey Smith, Harley Reid, Nick Watson, and others not listed on the official 12 like Jack Ginnivan are younger players who monster some of their senior counterparts in terms of online followers. Hockball was everywhere last year and was mainly created from TikTok, and with the sales of shirts and hoodies, it would have made Ginnivan and Watson especially some nice extra money. It's just one example of the social media draw a lot of these younger players have, and you think it's something that will only continue to grow in the future. But it's not all rosy when it comes to the marketing aspect. It can paint a target on your back, and to some, can be seen as a distraction from the player's real job, and that's playing football to the best of their ability. Isaac Quaynor and even Nick Dacos were put in focus after opening round on the agenda setters. Quaynor in this clip is talking about what fragrance he should wear in the lead up to the game, and Nick and Josh Dacos in this photo were at a UFC event in New York when Nick was scheduled to be at Collingwood with the other first to 4 year players. Now if you think it's a stretch, an overreaction to link these marketing type of events to performance, that's fine. But it just goes to show you the target it can create on your back with some people. You always get away with these type of things when you win, but as soon as you lose, it can be used against you. So as of right now, the best AFL players are still getting the best of the marketing deals. But it does feel like overall, this might be changing in the next decade. These young guns with highlight type of talent are catching the eye more than some of the most respected names in the competition. In a football world, have Harley Reid and Nick Watson earned their individual brands? Not yet, but that doesn't seem to be a concern in the world of marketing. It's the people on the internet and social media that decide who they like, watch, and listen to. The AFL is getting this new age of individual brands and their importance, and if you are on the right side, there is plenty more money to be made outside of kicking a ball. The question is the trade-off of making a few extra dollars off the field worth it in the AFL world? We are already seeing some of these young stars cop it, and the relationship between brand, marketing, and performance might be real.